So here's a quick tour of the Flying 15 for those who've not seen one before. There's a fair bit to get through, to be honest. So let's start with the mast. So yeah, the mast has got spreaders. There you go. So let's start at the beginning, up the front. There's obviously the jib with the black jib sheets. You can see there. I've got the jib furled at the moment because we're running downwind and it's a bit messy. You can see it's got a jib furler, which runs back to this black and gold control line at the front of the cockpit. Whilst we're up the front, also you can see the white and yellowish ropes running back each side of the cockpit. These are the spinnaker sheets, and I don't know if you can see it, but right up the front there's actually a spinnaker chute. So there's an opening in the front of the deck, and there's a big fiberglass tube that runs in under the deck, and that's where the spinnaker goes. And there's a little red piece of line sticking out just there. That's the retriever that goes onto the retriever of the spinnaker. So the spinnaker sheets run all the way back here, all the way to the back, go through a block, and then come forward, disappear under the deck here, re-emerge over here, and then sheet it off here. And that's the same on both sides. And to launch and retrieve the spinnaker, on the back of the console I have the halyard and the retriever, and it's on like a continuous loop. Right, back to the mast. Rig tension. So you can see at the base of the mast here, we've got a thing called a magic box, and that's like an 8:1 purchase. And then under the floor here I've got another 2:1 purchase, so I can get a 16:1 purchase on that. That comes back to the console here, where I've got everything's doubled up so you can adjust it from either side of the cockpit. That's where I put the rig tension on. So that basically tensions the jib halyard, which is a wire halyard. It comes down the mast and into that magic box, and I use a wire tension gauge to calibrate the numbers on the magic box there. So that allows me to adjust the rig tension to whatever conditions and get whatever mast bend I want. While we're on the subject of mast bend, in front of the mast there's a ram, and it's on a really big purchase arrangement, and it comes back to the console here, where I've got a control where I can ram the mast backwards to basically straighten it up. If I want to get more shape in the sail, I straighten the mast, because the mast has pre-bend in it. So it allows you to flatten the sail or let the sail, it allows you to, in strong conditions, allows you to let the mast bend, which will flatten the sail, or in light conditions you can straighten the mast to make the sail fuller. There's a Cunningham, that's not unusual, that's the blue line. Once again runs down to a purchase, back through the floor, and comes up here so I can adjust the Cunningham from my position. The Vang is, I don't know, 10:1 I think. You can see it's the yellow and the pink and purple lines here. So once again that runs back through the floor and back to the skipper's position here in the cockpit, so I can adjust the Vang on the run. My main halyard I've actually run back to here, because I do a lot of sailing on my own, so I'd like to be able to drop the mainsail by just letting the halyard off. So that goes up. Three of the lines go up through the mast itself: the jib halyard, the main halyard, and the spinnaker halyard. Everything else is external. These little blue lines here and over there are the twinners or tweakers. I'm not sure what the term is. That allows you to pull in the spinnaker sheet or let it out, depending on what tack you're on. This boat has a spinnaker pole, which is actually mounted on the other side of the boom there at the moment. You can't see it. And when you there's an eyelet up on the mast there, you hook one end onto that, and that yellow and black line that's running up there is actually the topping lift for the spinnaker pole, so you can adjust the height of your spinnaker pole, which is pretty handy. Oh, there's an outhaul, so there's an outhaul right out there. It runs through the mast on some pulleys and comes out at the front of the gooseneck there. That's that pink and purple rope dangling down. I also put lazy jacks on. They're not a feature in the Flying 15, but they're pretty handy if you're sailing on your own. That just comes down and is cleated underneath the deck there on that green. The green line is the lazy jacks. I think that's everything. Ignore the white rope, that's just my anchor because I'm cruising today. I think that's everything. Oh, the main sheet, obviously. The main sheet has a neat cleating arrangement here, so that's cool. That's handy. Interesting, like it's sort of like there's not any purchase on the main sheet, which is kind of weird because it's a 150 square foot sail. Anyway, it is what it is. Oh, and the other thing is the rudder is inboard. It's not a sort of a rudder that hangs over the back like a typical dinghy. It's actually permanently mounted, and of course this boat's got a 2'6" keel on it, 170 kilograms of cast iron, so you can't exactly run this boat up on the beach, which makes it a bit of a pain, but it's also a good safety feature because it's pretty much impossible to capsize this boat. I mean, it is possible to have a knockdown, but once you get yourself organised, it stands back up. I know from experience that to be true. All right, that's it. Flying 15 in a nutshell. Boy oh boy, this boat sails incredibly well.